Hi, hello, and welcome. Thank you for joining me today in another episode of my knitting podcast. My name is Jolanda, and I'm coming to you from the east of the Netherlands. We have a lot of snow. At least for us, it's a lot of snow. It looks beautiful, but it is also tricky. The roads are very slippery, but you're not here for the weather forecast, I can imagine. We are talking about knitting. And we are going to talk about the 12 castons of 2026. You probably saw it when you opened this video. So first of all, of course, I should wish you a happy new year. Today it's Monday and the year has just started. I hope you have a wonderful year. I hope there is a lot of knitting and happiness in your life. So let's continue talking about the 12 castles. I did not plan this, I did not prepare this, but if you don't know about the 12 castles, then I will link a video below. It is started many years ago by Angela of the Yarn and Yarns podcast, where she casts on 12 projects starting at December, Christmas Day or Christmas Eve until the end of January. So her rules are pretty loose. You can cast on one or you can cast on up to 12 projects. So as I just mentioned, I did not prepare anything, but I got infected by the 12 cast on bugs. So I will do a little twist, and there are more people who doing twists on these cast ons because I don't want to cast on 12 projects, to be honest. If you watched my Vlogmas episodes, you know I still have things I need to finish. And even though I don't mind a few projects, too many is too many for me. It makes me restless and I really want to finish up things. So what I thought and what I saw in another podcast, and that was the recreational knitting podcast. I will link her also down below. She casts on 6 projects and she also works on 6 works in progress. That sounded fantastic to me. I will try to actually finish 6. I don't think it will happen, but I don't want to put any restrictions or strains or stress, self-imposed stress, it's what they call it. I'm good at those things, and I will try to avoid that for this year. So, do you have plans for the new year? I do have a few plans. What I want to concentrate is knitting from my stash. I want to use up my stash as much as possible. I will not be able to use it up, but I will try to use as many as possible. I will also try to knit from my books. I have beautiful knitting books, and seriously, I cannot remember knitting one pattern out of them, which needs to change. It will change this year. What I also told you in my Vlogmas episodes, I want to start knitting from my hand spun. And that has already started because my first cast on was on Christmas Eve and it was a hand spun sweater. The sweater I talked about is the Raglano from Nicolor. It is a free pattern and it's a pattern which they say you don't need a gauge watch, but I kind of disagree with that because you do have to do some calculations. And to be fair and honest, I find it a very confusing pattern. I had to do some modifications because it did not work out for me. But you have to know how many stitches you have in 10 centimeters. Well, if you use commercial yarn, you can use the numbers on the ball band, of course. But that doesn't guarantee that it will be your gauge. But maybe you have knitted a lot of sweaters and you know the kind of gauge you got. So I did a little swatch because it takes no time at all. I was thinking about adding a little bit of mohair, but that just became too much for me. And it really obstructs the view of the hand spun. So I decided not to do that. So this is the gauge swatch. Then you have to do a few measurements. I found the pattern very unclear. That might be just my brain. Maybe you think it is very clear. So you can decide for yourself. But for me, it is very unclear. I know it is a free pattern. I was looking forward and buying some of her paid for patterns, but I'm not sure if they are any better. Is this how all patterns are written, or was it just because it was a free pattern and her first attempt that it is so sparse and so, I don't know, it was not very logical for my brain. I have to get used to the way she presents things. Well, I like to know if you knitted any of her pay-for patterns, and were they well written, or were they also very sparse and left a lot for the imagination, because I would like to knit more of her patterns. Well, the whole Raglano sweater did not go so well, because my brain apparently did see things totally different than the pattern said. So at one point I had so many stitches on the needles, I was counting and see if everything matched up, and to my greatest surprise, on one side I had two sleeves. So two times the amount of stitches for one sleeve. It was absurd. So you have the front yoke, the back between the raglan, and then there is shoulder stitches, and on that side I had two shoulder stitches, two times the sleeve stitches. So I could totally frog everything. So when it was Christmas Day, was left with nothing but a pile of yarn. But I fixed that, of course. So I have tried it on and I'm still working on it. I made a huge amount of progress. So I will put in, I took a lot of video while working on it, while working on all my projects. So I hope you like that. A little less babbling and more footage on how things worked up and came to life and then were cast off. So I hope you will enjoy this part. This looks nice, but apparently I made a mistake, because on this side I have two sleeves. Wow. I don't even know how I managed that, but hey, I got to rip back because this is a sleeve and this is a sleeve. Ridiculous. Alright, at least I know this looks really nice. And sunshine, sunshine, sunshine. I think I found it now. What I've been looking for. Isn't it beautiful? It's got my head all up in the clouds. I think I found it now. Yeah. Everything I want might be a miracle. I know I'm never coming down. I don't gotta worry about a single thing. I can feel the light coming down on me. Sunshine on my face. I got sunshine on my face. I don't got a care in the world right now. Higher than the ceiling, breaking through the clouds. Sunshine on my face. I got sunshine on my face. Yeah. I got sunshine. I got sunshine. I got sunshine. I gotta let you know, it's so incredible.
sunshine.
So I can show you now at what point I am right now. So the neckline was very wide, so I made when I picked up the stitches, I started with a larger needle and I decided to cut down on the needle size twice. So as far as I think it looks, it will lay flat against my chest and will not stand out. I finished the body until the ribbing. Now I'm working on the sleeves because there's only so much yarn. When you spin yarn, it is only so much, and I have to make the best of it. I hope I have enough. I was very doubtful, but while I was measuring the sleeves, there was about 10 centimeters to go. And in the worst case, I was thinking of looking up a darker purple yarn, preferably hand spun, and then do the cuffs in a darker color. I will definitely keep the neckline in a lighter color because I look better in lighter muted colors. But look at these colors, aren't they just beautiful? I just love it. There was one skein that was really skinny and I had to double that up, but I think it turned out very well. It definitely has the hand spun look, a little bit irregular, but if you don't want irregular, you just better buy some yarn, right? I just absolutely love it. And it is so much fun knitting with your hand spun yarn. So that is why I set the goal this year to knit a lot of it, because I still have a lot of it. The problem is I have a lot of single skeins. That's probably something you all know. If it is commercial yarn, hand dyed yarn or hand spun yarn, we end up with a lot of single skeins in our stash. So I have plans for that. But I will talk about it next week because I am planning to do 3 cast-ons or finishes every week. And then we have 4 weeks until the end of January. So we can do the math or not. I will see how far I will go. But so far it's going good. I am knitting at this moment one big garment, and I am finishing a garment. And I cast on small projects. So I will start talking about that right now. And the second cast on was a pot holder. I am so in need of pot holders, and I have seen a few pot holders on podcast, like M Days. She also uses a very simple hand knitted pot holder. And every time I see her podcast and she uses it, I think I need one. And it is just garter stitch and it is super simple. And it was done in only a few hours. So I casted on 2 pot holders and I finished 2 pot holders. The first one is the Monday morning. And that was my cast on number 2. And I want to make more of these. I want to make much more of these. If everything goes right, you can see a video here. And first I start organizing my cotton stash and looking for yarn that I think I would like some pot holders in. So either the leftover skeins or some skeins that I think will look nice in my interior, or both. So the Monday morning pot holder, this is the one, and this is the one I want more of. They're plain and simple, and they are so nice and thick because it is double thread and it was already DK or worsted. So you can imagine how soft and squishy this is. I would really like some face cloths like this. I have a ton of them, but they're all thin and but they're all cotton. But this would be so nice. Or some towels. I would like to knit some towels out of this. So this is cotton. This was Drops Paris. I think I showed it in a video. And yeah, I know it's a small project, but I'm so happy with it and I will use it a lot. Also as, you know, to put your teapot on or whatever. It's just great. And like I said, big needles, double strand of yarn. It just flies off your needles. Done in no time. I have some Drops Bell. Uh, I mean, it does not take completely 2 skeins of 50 grams. So I have a little bit of leftover. But I want to make a small one and just use up all the yarn. And maybe use it for a scrubby or to put on a glass or a mug or whatever. I just want to make that, use up all that. I have not started it yet because I am working, of course, on these videos. And all right, so castle number 2 is finished. Castle number 3 is the Frosty Town, and it's also a free pattern from Drops. I try to link everything down below as much as possible. If you have any questions, of course, you're free to leave a comment. And I just love this too. I'm still working on another one. I have not shown it yet because that will be next week. But oh, do I love this or what? And this is also a quite easy one because this is just plain knitting and this is plain knitting. The color work is only this and a tiny little bit over here. And I did the Kitchener stitch up there. They would just want you to bind all the stitches off and then sew them together like the bottom. So I showed you that also in the video. I think it might be a little bit cinched in here with the color work, but who cares? Isn't it adorable? You can make them in any color, of course. Both sides is the same, so these are also double thickness, but these are like that, just knitted in the round, right? Yeah, isn't it just adorable? Wonderful. I knitted this on magic loop. I tried the short circular needle. It did not work for me. The 45 centimeters was too small. The stitches were so bunched up that was not nice to get the color work even. And then the shortest interchangeable needles, that was just a little bit too long. So I had to constantly stretch the stitches out. It was so slow. So I ended up going for the magic loop, which, yes, let me know what you think. I just love it. I love it. Wonderful. So that was cast on number 3, also finished. And that's wonderful. Wonderful. I love it. So what have I been working on? I am close to finishing a few projects. I have another video for you where I showed you my sea glass cardigan / sweater. It was a sweater. I just sticked it and turned it to a cardigan. So I hope you enjoy that footage. So let me show you how far I am at this moment. There is not much done after you have seen the video. I was I was not stuck. I was just a little bit over it. I did weave in all the million ends. The button bands are finished. I just looked up for the buttons I wanted to add. The sleeves are finished. No, the cuffs of the sleeves have a different color and is a different yarn, but it is also hand spun. It's the same as the button bands, but I don't see any problem in a little bit of a change. So what I need to do to finish this off is sew the underarm, zigzag, and then snip the threads that are too tight that I talked about in my 12 cup my my Vlogmas videos. If you have not watched them because you don't like the Christmassy Vlogmas thing, these are just short videos where I talk about what I'm wearing, what I'm casting, what I'm working on, and something old. So it is not really Christmassy. If you want to catch up with what I've been doing, I would suggest you take a look. Maybe you enjoy it. So both sides I need a zigzag, so I have to put on my knitting machine on the table, which is kind of a heavy thing, and I was kind of bummed of it because I had it on here, I was sticking, and I totally forgot. But that's okay. So then there is the inside where I did stick, and I am still contemplating. I found some ribbon, but it is not even that bad. At some point, let me try to find it for you. Maybe I can't find it. Maybe it was up here. I think if I sew it flat with the dark brown, it would also look quite nice actually. I'm not sure if the ribbon would make it so much better. Oh, I did it over here. So this is sewn down. So what would you do? Would you add a ribbon? I could. I could. But the problem with the ribbon is you have to stretch out your knitting and then sew it on, because I made that mistake before. The ribbon is not stretchy, so if you sew it on too tight, you have to redo it because then it won't lay flat. All right, let me show you the buttons I chose. These are the buttons I will sew on. It is just a very simple button. I think that would look nice. I did not want some. I had many beautiful things, but I thought the cardigan also has a lot going on, and I think this will be all right. So sewing on the bottoms, zigzagging the underarm, and then maybe finishing the steek or sewing on the ribbon. I hope I can manage to do that for next week, so I will have this finished. And then number, now that's a bit difficult counting because I already have two finished objects. But okay, this number one of the whips is finished. I can call it like that. So yeah, I made a lot of progress since last time. I finished the sleeves, I did the steeking. So there was another thing I wanted to finish, because it is just close to being finished, and I will put in the footage here for you. folded this in half, and let's see how far I got. I've had this checkerboard pattern, so I need two more patterns and one more checkerboard, which is good because I don't have that much pink yarn left, only this. So that's hopefully enough for one of the checkerboard patterns. So two more quilt patterns, one of those. Yes, I'm happy about that. I still have so much yarn left, so I guess I have to look for another scrappy project. This is also something I talked about in the Vlogmas episodes, counting down to Christmas. And I also showed you, told you what I needed to do to finish it was 2 repeats and 1 checkerboard. So I can show it a little bit better maybe over here because it was quite late and dark last night. So this is the Quinty Quilt Scarf by Mimpy the Label, which is Famke. She is from Belgium. So you get the pattern with all kinds of charts, and you just choose the chart as you like them. This was a one color chart, but I decided to do a little pretty center. The charts are separated by the little checkerboard. The checkerboard actually is a different color. This is cream and this is white. Does not completely show up, but that doesn't matter. I know it is there. So I did, since last time, I think I did this part. It looks like it cinches in, but actually it is very easy to lay flat. So it acts kind of a ribbing, and I will just seam block it. I think that will be the easiest. Why would I want to wash the whole scarf? That might be a bit too much. I think, as she mentioned in the pattern, if you want it wrapped around your neck and have some space to hang, you need approximately the size of your body length. So I'm around 1 meter and 80 centimeters, and I am going for a scarf for around 2 meters. So this was 1 meter, and I actually, yeah, I think the wingspan of your arms is almost the same as your length. So in that case, I'm probably already there. Because it is that long. I'll just do whatever I was planning, and then I will look on the inside if there's anything to fix. You don't really have to weave in the ends, but you have to secure the ends because you don't want them to unravel. So I need to check and hope I can still get in the inside. So this I will try to do 1 repeat every day, and then it will be done in 2 days. So I'm looking forward to finishing this because it's very cold outside and I can absolutely use this scarf at the moment. And since you knit it in the round, it is again double thickness, and since it is straddled color work, it's actually 4 layers. So I think it will be wonderful and warm. A lovely project to use up all the smaller bits and pieces. You really don't need any full skeins, but as you can see, again, it looks like there is nothing gone. So yes, I definitely need to look for more projects where I can use up all this. It's a lot. It's still a lot. I'm thinking about a blanket, but I'm not sure. I'm sure some pattern will come on my path, and then I will definitely jump onto it and start knitting it. I have plans for new castons. I don't know if I mentioned that. I will save that for the next episode. So, because this is already quite long, and I haven't even added the footage yet. So, what I want to end with this episode is the statistics of what I have been buying last year, the yarn that came in, and not all I have bought. Also, there was my birthday present among that, and what went out. All right, I tried to do a lot better this year because I'm planning nothing, buying nothing. I don't know if it works, but that's what my plan is. The final numbers are in 2025. I had a total amount of 8,050 grams coming in. If I add the advent calendar that I opened in December, that it was a 1,075 grams added to that. It gave a total amount of 9,125 grams that came in 1 year. Everything I counted. I think that was most of it. So what I knitted was more than that. It was 10,477 grams. It's crazy, right? So the difference between that is 1,352. Yes. So more than a kilo went out, more than came in. Still, there is way too much. And I seriously want to make the commitment to knit from that. And that probably will mean less test knits, because I will go and check out what yarn I want to use, and then I will go in the reverse. I will look for a pattern that will match my yarn. Wish me luck. Do you have any plans like that, or are you just going with the flow? So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, Happy New Year. Um, Maybe you just noticed I look a bit better, but it's just another infection. It was way worse. It is definitely healing. My immune is damaged because of past treatments I had. But the strange thing is the damaged part is not causing this, because that part of my immune is still working well, but still apparently it is not working well. So I have facial infections. I have the infection on my lip right now. Apparently it is a thing, and I will try to stay healthy. That will also be something for the new year. Try to be more mindful of what I snack and what I eat, and try to go for the healthier stuff. It is always difficult around Christmas because a lot of delicious goodies are coming in, but apparently I need more of the vitamins and everything like that. Also, there's so little daylight. It is also all not helping, but we do the best we can, right? So I wish you a very happy year and a lot of creative activities, hopefully. And my plan is to come back every Monday in the month of January. And then in the end of January, we'll see how far I got with the castons, how far I got with the finishing. And I hope you enjoyed this one. So until we speak again next week, I hope you enjoy your knitting and happy crafting. Stay calm and enjoy your new year. Bye bye.